rise for the presentation of the colors by the color guard. Advance the colors. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Scouts salute. I pledge allegiance of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Post the colors. Color guard, retreat. The audience may be seated. Scouts, please remain standing. I would like to introduce Scoutmaster Ben Weintraub.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. This afternoon, we have the honor and pleasure of recognizing Vishnu Murali for the award of Eagle Scout. The parents, Scout, and adult leaders of the Eagle candidate whom we honor today have labored long and faithfully and developed in Vishnu a high value of community service and citizenship through participation in the Boy Scouts of America. Their efforts culminate in the presentation of the Eagle Award. On behalf of Murali, Sharmila, and Vishnu, I would like to thank their family, friends, and fellow Scouts and their families for joining us. Thank you all for coming. I know it means a lot to Vishnu. The achievement of the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest rank in Boy Scouts of America, would not have been possible without the guidance and support of Scout leaders, the troop, community, friends, and family. Thank you all for joining us in this celebration. Today you will witness one of the most important ceremonies in Scouting, the Eagle Scout Court of Honor. This is an opportunity to recognize Vishnu's accomplishments, as well as what it means to become an Eagle Scout. Honor Guard, please escort the Eagle candidate to the stage. Vishnu, please lead us in the Scout Oath. Scout sign.
On my honor,
I will do my best
to do my duty, to guide my country, to obey Scout law, to help people in long times, to teach myself to be strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
2. Scouts, you may be seated.
It is my pleasure to introduce former Scoutmaster and current Assistant Scoutmaster, Mr. Glenn Can, who will provide us with a recitation of 100 Scouts.
Do you want to come up for this? Come on. I am proud to present our Eagle Scout candidate, Vishnu Murali. When you bridged from Pack 78 in 2012, you heard the story of the 100 Scouts. I'm very happy to complete your journey to Eagle with another recitation of 100 Scouts, which so aptly summarizes the importance of Scouting at the individual, community, and national level. Of any 100 boys who became Scouts, it must be confessed that 30 will drop out in their first year. Perhaps this can be regarded as a failure, but in later life, all of these boys remember that they have been Scouts, and all will speak highly of the program. Each of the 100 will learn something from Scouting. Almost all will develop hobbies that will add interest throughout the rest of their lives. Approximately 1/2 will serve in the military, and in varying degrees profit from their Scouting training. At least one will use it to save another person's life, and many will credit with saving their own. 4 of the 100 will reach Eagle, and 1 will later say that they valued it more than their college degree. Many will find their future vocation through the merit badge work. You've got a lot to choose from. And scouting contests. 17 of the 100 boys will later become scout leaders and will give leadership to thousands of additional scouts. Though only 1 in 4 boys in America become scouts, it is interesting to know that of the leaders in this nation, in business, religion, and politics, 3 out of 4 were scouts. Let me recount a few statistics, which is kind of interesting. 64% of all Air Force Academy graduates were scouts. 68% of West Point graduates and 70% of Annapolis graduates are scouts. 72% of all Rhodes Scholars. 85% of all FBI agents. 181 NASA astronauts were involved in scouting, 62% of all the astronauts. 39 were Eagle, 26 of the first 29 astronauts landing on the moon were Boy Scouts. Moreover, 11 of the 12 who walked on the moon, and the very first person on the moon was an Eagle Scout. In the 113th Congress, 191 members participated in scouting as youth or adults, and 28 were Eagle Scouts. 18 current state governors, which is 1/3 of state governors today, participated in scouting as youth or an adult volunteer, and 4 were Eagle Scout. Vishnu, you are in good company, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ken. It is my pleasure to introduce former Scoutmaster and Chartered Organization Representative, Mr. Jim Barrett, who will explain the requirements for an Eagle Scout badge and discuss Vishnu's path to Eagle.
Thank you. So to become an Eagle Scout, a Scout must earn now a minimum of 21 merit badges, 13 of which are required to be an Eagle. Although when Vishnu started, those numbers were 20 and 12. Someplace along the line, they moved up, and so he moved up with them. A Scout must also serve actively in troop leadership for at least a period of 6 months after achieving the rank of Life Scout, which is the tier immediately before Eagle. Then while a Life Scout, he must plan and develop and carry out a service project that's helpful to a religious institution, a school, or the community in a manner that's worthy of an Eagle Scout. He must demonstrate through the testimony of character references and otherwise that he lives by the principles of the Scout Oath and law in his daily life. And then finally, he must appear before an Eagle Board of Review. So some of the accomplishments Vishnu has made on his trail to Eagle. In his leadership positions, he served as an instructor for the troop, a troop guide for a patrol, and then for an extended period, actually, as a Den Chief, ultimately earning the Den Chief Award. He also achieved the award and certificate from the Potomac Flight School. Now, Mr. Can mentioned briefly about all the merit badges. So Vishnu, I'm going to ask you to think back to the first Court of Honor ceremony we had that you were a Scout. And I was calling the Scouts up on stage one by one. And I saved the envelope for the Scout who had achieved the most merit badges for last. And it turned out it was Vishnu, and I think it was 13. Many people had earned 2, some had earned 4 or 5. But Vishnu had earned 13. And so I turned to Vishnu, and do you remember what I said? Yeah, probably just as well. I said, so how many are you going to earn? And he said, I'm going to earn 50. Well, point in fact, he earned 55. So I am truly impressed. Then on that road, he was out camping for 20 nights and spent a week of 2 summers at Camp Otari, including, I think one of them was the year of the derecho. So amongst his other achievements, academic achievement is another important area of development for youth. Vishnu has really challenged himself at school, He was recently advanced to 12th grade and will be graduating next June, a year earlier than expected. That's awesome. Vishnu, your dedication and hard work have really paid off. Congratulations on both your scouting and your academic achievements. We wish you the best of luck and hope you many such successes.
Thank you for the remarks. I would like to introduce Scoutmaster Mr. Weintraub. Mr. Weintraub. Alright. Oh, okay. Alright. Thank you, Mr. Barrett, for his Eagle Scout project. Vishnu performed in service to the Scouts of Cunningham Park Elementary School during the summer library program. His project beneficiary was the Cunningham Park Elementary School Summer Library Program. Here to say a few words on behalf of the Cunningham Park Elementary School, Mrs. Kathleen Coles.
Good afternoon. My name is Kathy Coles. I'm Kathleen, if I'm only in trouble, and apologize for my voice. It's that time of year again. I'm one of the teachers over at Cunningham Park, and Vishnu worked with us. I'm actually speaking on behalf of Mrs. Meg Brinkheis, who's the librarian there. She wrote this speech I'm going to share with you today. Serendipity is a delightful sounding word for a delightful circumstance. Serendipity brought Vishnu into contact with our Cunningham Park Elementary School community. Vishnu was beginning to explore options for his Eagle Scout project, and in speaking with Greg Hood, principal of Madison High School, he learned of our school summer library program, and everything fell into place. With a lot of hard work on Vishnu's part, Vishnu met with Mrs. Brinkheis, our librarian, and learned about our goals for the summer. He organized members of his troop, friends, and family to help us move, ultimately, thousands of books from Cunningham Park to our pop-up library location at the Cedar Park Shopping Center. Vishnu made sure he and other volunteers were available every week to staff the library, read with our children, and work on a craft or activity. Vishnu and his volunteers restocked and organized the books every week as well, and helped us with the library remaining organized and ready for the next week. And when it was time, Vishnu organized more volunteers to help us bring the remaining books and supplies back to Cunningham Park. Vishnu and his troop members served as role models for our school and our students who could read with them and ask questions about scouting. I hope our students who have met with Vishnu are inspired to volunteer and serve their community just as Vishnu has done. The students and families of Cunningham Park, thank you, Vishnu. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mrs. Coles. I would like to introduce Scoutmaster Mr. Weintraub.
The Eagle Award is an important and serious matter. For the Eagle candidate before us tonight, the award is the climax of their scouting efforts for many years. Let me point out that the attainment of this award is made possible through the assistance of those with the candidate tonight: his scoutmaster, assistant scoutmasters, scout leaders, troop committee members, and his fellow scouts, parents, family, friends, and members of our local community. This is an occasion for pride and joy as well as a time for reflection. It is important that we understand the meaning of the Eagle Badge. The Eagle rank represents proficiency in all scouting skills and is attained by only about 4% of all young men in scouting. It represents a great deal of teamwork as a member and a leader of a troop. You demonstrated your leadership by living the Scout Oath and Law in an effort to perpetuate the scouting spirit. It represents years of hard work, strength of character, persistence, and more importantly, it is indicative of what lies in the future of a scout as he grows into manhood. The Eagle rank testifies that a scout has an understanding of his community and his nation, and a willingness to become involved. It is also fitting at this time to explain that not only does this badge signify his hard work, it also signifies certain obligations on his part. The foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of character. He knows that a scout is trustworthy is the first point of the Scout Law for a good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably not only because of the infinite importance of doing so to himself, but because of the vital significance of the example he sets for others. Living honorably reflects credit upon his home, his troop, and his community. May the white of the Eagle badge remind you to always live with honor. The second responsibility of the Eagle Scout is loyalty. A Scout is true to his family, leaders, friends, school, and nation. Without loyalty, character lacks direction. Regardless of how rough the road, how difficult the task, or how impossible the situation, the Eagle must remain loyal to his cause and purpose. It is the sense of belonging, being a part of a team, and working together with others. It is also the feeling the Eagle gives others, knowing that they can count on it. May the blue of the Eagle badge always inspire your loyalty. The third responsibility of an Eagle Scout is courage. Courage is a quality by which men measure themselves and others. To a Scout, courage means not only bravery facing physical danger, but the determination to stand up for his rights. An Eagle Scout is able to face each day unafraid, striving to share in the work at hand. May the red of the Eagle badge always remind you of courage. The fourth responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to be cheerful. You have no problem with that, Vishnu. As a reminder of the Eagle Scout to always wear a smile, the red, white, and blue ribbon is attached to the scroll of the Second Class Scout Award, which has its ends turned up in a smile. The final responsibility of an Eagle Scout is service. The Eagle extends a helping hand to those who still toil up Scouting's trail, just as others helped him in his climb to Eagle. The performance of the daily good turn takes on a new meaning when he enters an adult life of continuing service to others. The Eagle stands as the protector of the weak and helpless. He aids and comforts the unfortunate and the oppressed. He upholds the rights of others while defending his own. The Eagle Scout will always be prepared to put forth his best. Vishnu, you deserve much credit for having achieved Scouting's highest award. Wear your award with humility, ever mindful that the Eagle Scout is looked upon as an example. May the Scout Oath and Scout Law be your guide for tomorrow and onward.
Thank you, Mr. Weintraub. Now I would like to introduce former Scoutmaster and Assistant Scoutmaster, Mr. Can, who will deliver the Eagle Charge.
Vishnu, I have the honor of giving you the Eagle Scout Charge on this occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in Scouting. Boy Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world's history, and you have been counted worthy of the highest rank in its membership. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to country, to your fellow Scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your brother Scouts. When you fail, you bring down by so much the good name of all true and worthy Scouts. Your responsibility goes beyond your fellow Scouts to your country. America has good things for you and your children after you. But these things depend, for the most part, on the character and leadership abilities of her citizens. You are to help her in all that she needs most. She has a great past. You are here to make her future even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only towards the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service to fellow man. So live and serve, that those who know you will be inspired by the finest living. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and abilities to the common good. Build America on the solid foundation of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence. And whatever others may do, you will leave behind a record of which every scout may be proud. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Ken. Now I would like to bring back Scoutmaster Weintraub to lead the Eagle Scout Oath.
All right, Vishnu, we're going to make you sit, stand. Come on back up. And would all Eagle Scouts present please come forward? And stand behind Vishnu to rededicate yourselves to the principles of scouting by repeating the Eagle Scout Oath. That's fine. Scout sign. I reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example. My rank and my influence count strongly for better scouting and for better citizenship. In my troop, in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my sacred honor. Two. And Vishnu, it is time to change out your neckerchief. Get a nice shiny new one. Gentlemen. Thank you. Maybe sitting down. Not yet. Eagle Scout Vishnu Murali, I wish to congratulate you upon achievement on behalf of the Scouts and adults of Troop 1978. We're all extremely proud of your achievement and equally proud of your progress along the scouting trail. Please wear your neckerchief with pride in our program and your personal achievement. Just like your past progress along the trail, you did not go it alone. Your fellow patrol and troop members assisted you greatly. Your friends and those in your community supported you while you completed the service projects in the troop. But your parents supported you throughout, and it is at this time that I ask your parents to please join us here. In recognition of the many hours of patient guidance given, please pin the badge on your Vishnu's shirt. Yeah, you can do it there. Thanks for the applause, though. Put away. Looks pretty good. In recognition of the many hours of patient guidance given by your mother to you and your efforts, please present to her this pin. recognition of the wisdom and guidance given to you by your father, please present to him this Eagle tie tag, which we will be proud to wear. Give your mom a hug, too.
All right.
Troop 1978, I present to you Eagle Scout Vishnu Murali.
First of all, thank you for all coming for a special occasion. It's truly a great honor to be here, my fellow scouts, friends, and family. Scouting is a journey like no other. It's both fun and tough at the same time, but nevertheless, it's a journey worth taking. My journey started when I joined PAC 78. Cub Scouts was a really fun and outgoing experience. Being a Cub Scout made me want to continue my journey to become a Boy Scout. Becoming a Boy Scout paved me a way to become an Eagle Scout. I learned so much in Cub Scouts, but I did not know I was going to learn a lot more in Boy Scouts. Scouting has taught me so much that I'll cherish that knowledge that I learned throughout my life. However, my first step towards becoming a man started when I bridged the Troop 1978 in April of 2012. It was the day I became a Boy Scout. Boy Scouts is a remarkable experience. I had so much fun, and at the same time I learned so many new things. If for some reason I forgot most of the things I learned in Boy Scouts, I only have one thing in mind, and that is to be prepared. Be prepared is the Boy Scouts motto. It is not only helpful in Boy Scouts, but it's also helpful in the real world. On one camp out, I went with our troop. Each member of our patrol was supposed to bring something, whether it was food or cooking equipment. Unfortunately, one of our members who was supposed to bring food got sick and had to go home immediately. We were hiking and our patrol was starving, but luckily I brought enough of food to feed the entire patrol. Being prepared is an excellent skill I learned in Boy Scouts. It made me more aware and ready for things to come in life. Now it's God to thank for that. Secondly, another thing that being a Boy Scout taught me was to be very helpful. Helping people has always been my forte. I like to put people before myself. And that's what being a Boy Scout is. Because it's such an honor and it shows how good of a person you are and how people can benefit from you. My Eagle Scout project showed not only how being a Boy Scout can make you a better leader, but also how to make a positive impact in the community. I learned so much from the people I helped, and also being a leader in my Eagle Scout project. Once again, Scouting had taught me many things in life that are so useful. Scouting also made me do things that I never even thought of. Luckily, I was never alone Scouting, because Scouting is like a one big giant family. You have so many kids from all over the community that you spend a lot of time with and get to know them. So I want to deeply thank all the Scouts who helped me with my project, and also Scouts who made Troop 1978 the best troop in Vienna. I also want to thank Mrs. Brinkheis, whom I worked with the most during the project, Mrs. Cole, who was very helpful and made the project a really fun environment for the kids, and also the staff at Cunningham Park Elementary, who made this project even possible. Scouting is one thing in a troop, but Scout leaders are another. Being a Scout leader seems to be a tough job. I don't know how they do it, but they sure do make it seem easy. Mr. Al Fox was my first Scoutmaster. He was the man who knew everything in Scouting. He was the first person I went to introduce my Eagle Scout project idea. He was my role model in Scouting, which encouraged me to become the person who I am today. He's one of the few reasons I am standing out here today. Sadly, Mr. Fox had passed away recently, but he'll always be in our heart. I want to honor Mr. Fox by becoming the person I set out to be, a valuable member of this community now and also in the future. After Mr. Fox, my second Scoutmaster was Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett helped me with the majority of the Scouting requirements from 10-foot rank to Star Scout. Mr. Ken was my last Scoutmaster before I started my preparation for the Eagle rank. I want to thank both of them for coming here, putting their time and effort to make me a better Scout and making me achieve the rank of Eagle. Lastly, my current Scoutmaster, Mr. Weintraub, was a huge part of my journey to Eagle. He guided me through the steps and the ranks of becoming an Eagle Scout. Without the help and guidance of Mr. Weintraub, I wouldn't be the Eagle Scout that I wanted to be. Once again, I'd like to thank all my Scout Masters for their hard work and dedication to this troop. They're also one of the reasons I'm standing here today. However, I'm forgetting one of the reasons I'm standing here today, and that is my parents. My parents are a big part of my journey to Eagle. They made me the person who I am today. My parents taught me well from being a well-disciplined kid to being very helpful. I couldn't thank them enough. My parents were there when I needed help. My parents were there when it was finally time to get working on the Eagle project. They are the only people who stayed throughout my journey to the Eagle, from the beginning into the end. I love you guys. Having attained the rank of Eagle made me reflect on the person who I am today, but also made me think the person who I will be tomorrow. Being an Eagle Scout will make me a valuable member of the Madison community. I'll continue to help others and instruct others on the way of scouting and life. Becoming an Eagle Scout is my journey to be the man I want to be in life. I can always thank Scouting for making me the person who I am today, and also who I will be in the future. Last but not least, Scouting has been a part of me for over years, and it'll always will be. Thank you.
National and local officials have sent letters of congratulations to Vishnu for his achievement of Eagle Scout. These letters and photos from Vishnu's Eagle Scout project, his project workbook, and certificates are on a table in the back of the room. Please take a moment to look at these items during the reception. We invite everyone to congratulate the new Eagle Scout and his parents and to join us for refreshments. Scouts, please wait until all family and honored guests are served, and then you may join the refreshment line. This Eagle Scout Court of Honor is now adjourned. Please stand for the retiring of the colors. Color guard, to the stage, please. Color guard, retire the colors. Enjoy, guys. Thank you for coming.
Congratulations, man. Yeah.
Pretty good. Good job, man.